This is AM 1450 and FM 100.9. WLAF La Follette, the home of American Top 40, the 70s with Casey Kasem.
FM 100.9 WLAF.
It's got a touch of the town where I grew up. Something in it them California girls love. Some people like to make a little fun of the way I talk. It gets slower after 3 or 4 cold beers, and gets louder when I'm cheering on the Volunteers. Folks know I'm country when they hear the way I talk. It sounds a little bit like my daddy. Don't cuss around my mama. Got some words you never heard unless you come from down yonder. The man upstairs gets it, so I ain't trying to fix it. No, I can't hide it, I don't fight it, I just roll with it. Oh, kinda slow like the Mississippi rolls. It's the only way I know. Man, it ain't my fault. I just live the way I talk.
And welcome into the Truly Nolan Studios at WLAF. This is your host, Jake Miller. You are listening to Jake Miller Sports Talk. Jake Miller, Daniel Collins, excited to be with you for the next 2 hours right here on WLAF. Want to remind you guys that Jake Miller Sports Talk is presented by our friends at the Marlowe Agency with Shelter Insurance. Guys, whether it is your home, your life, your car, anything that you need insured, Derek and company have you covered at Marlowe Insurance. Check them out on Facebook today. I would give you their number, but my MacBook is not loading, so therefore we cannot give you the number at this time, but we will get that to you later in the show when we do another read, because that's what we do. Daniel Collins, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Jake. How are you today?
We are living the dream. Had a good day at work. Ready to come in here, talk some ball, because we got some big things coming up this weekend.
Yes, we do.
Tennessee opens up the year in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, what we know still as the Georgia Dome, because you and I are old like that.
Always. Yeah, it's always going to be the Georgia Dome. Tennessee bringing in some new starters. It's going to be interesting.
I think everybody's bringing in new starters in this day and age.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, you got
NILs everywhere.
You can't stop it. Like, that is the thing. Like, and no matter how much I complain about it, no matter how much I gripe about it, nothing is ever going to change with it. Like, we've just got to accept the fact that, hey, this is the society that we are living in. This is the college football environment that we are living in. It is no longer build a team for 4 years and see what you got. It is, hey, assemble the best roster you can year after year, kind of like AAU basketball in a sense. You know, and you and I have had these conversations more and more, as the years have went along. But also, Campbell County heading to Rogersville tomorrow. Take on Cherokee.
Long journey.
It's going to be a long drive. And for somebody like me who works in Lenoir City, I have to drive from La Follette to Lenoir City, battle I-40 and I-75 at the split, and then finally get back on 40 once I pass downtown Knoxville and make it to Rogersville. Everyone's like, oh, we can go to Pals. I'm fully convinced that Aaron, Matthew, Jonah, Derek, everybody that is traveling to this game, they're going to get Pals.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm going to get?
Probably McDonald's.
Probably a 10-piece and a Diet Coke. That's probably what I'm going to get. But at the end of the day, Campbell County, taking the L last week, 43-7 at Lenoir City. And, Daniel, one of the things that we had mentioned in the promo leading up to the show, and, Matthew, Jim, they do a fantastic job with those. Want to give a quick shout out to those guys. Those guys are fantastic, do a lot for me and making this show happen. One of the things that I wanted to bring up is that 30,000-foot view, not looking at things just on the surface level. Because when you take the first half of that game up until the last 30 seconds of the first half, we saw improvements from the scrimmages that I just had to look at Jonah and be like, wow, this is completely different than what we watched 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Like, this is a completely different team. This is incredible. And, and Coach Owenby had mentioned to me that, they weren't going to open up the playbook on the scrimmages because they didn't want anybody to have any game film or anything like that, doing what coaches do. But, when we finally saw the playbook open up, Eli Lawson, he's out there, making throws that we hadn't seen yet.
Yeah.
And of course, this is his first year playing football, and he's the starting quarterback. Happy birthday, Eli, by the way.
Happy birthday.
And I'm just looking at some of these throws. I'm like, okay, this is the best 2-week progression I've ever seen.
He's a baseball player, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Great baseball player.
That correlates, though. I mean, you look at previous quarterbacks at Campbell County. Landon Hensley comes to mind really quick. Great baseball player, great quarterback. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of look at your NFL level guys as well. Russell Wilson,
baseball player.
Connor
Holloway.
Several of them. Pat Mahomes, his dad played in the league.
Mm-hmm.
It just a great quarterback and a pitcher or a baseball player. I don't know how it relates, but it does. I guess it's just the arm motion or something.
Well, something that I did, when I was warming up for tennis matches, is we would throw the football. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because when you serve, it is the exact same motion as what you would use if you're a quarterback.
Makes sense.
And in baseball, it's the same motion.
Yeah, it's that overhead. Baseball, you're going this. Football, you're going like that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the young man, he looked well. I mean, first half, getting a new head coach in with his scheme, with everything that he wants to do, can be tricky. I mean, everybody can see that from a mile away. There's been progression, like you said. The running back room at Campbell County with Sexton, he's going to be solid. I mean, they've got kids that can. Campbell County is not given the credit that they're due in several different areas on the field. Coach Owenby, I know, is a defensive-minded coach, and you can tell it. I mean, his defense is very well coached. Now, granted, what we've seen last week versus what we might see tomorrow night against Cherokee could be two totally different things, right?
Right.
Different offensive schemes, different defensive schemes from Coach Owenby. And on the offensive side of the ball, you're going to see little changes. You might see whoever, was breaking these 35-yard runs last week. This week, it might be more of I'm getting 3 or 4 yards, but I'm getting that consistently. So in high school ball, it's kind of you're going to have to find that fine area of we want to move the ball far down the field, but that may not work. We want these 2 to 3 yards, get our first down, get in short yardage situations, give our quarterback a chance to learn because you're still learning. I mean, the first 5 weeks of a season, I mean, I hate to say that because there's only, I think, 10 games in high school.
Right.
The first half of the season, unless you've got a seasoned team, and by season, I mean you're starting seniors, juniors, and very rarely that sophomore or freshman that's just an absolute stud. I mean, not everybody has the benefit of the kid down at Grace that started in high school at 8th grade last year.
Right.
I mean, not everybody has that. But what Campbell County does right, just from me being a bystander looking in from a distance, is they've got this idea of we can do this. Next man up. So
right.
We'll see.
We will definitely see indeed. We want to hear from you. 423-562-1450, your number if you want to hop on the show. Let's get our first caller in here. Caller, go ahead. You're on Jake Miller Sports Talk. Don't think we got connection there. We will try that here in just a minute. But, Daniel, jumping back to Campbell County, jumping back to everything that we saw last week, and you knew it was coming because it happens every single year. Mm-hmm. You get on social media, and you see people just absolutely just saying terrible things about the team, about the school, about the community. And, luckily we didn't see anything about the players because that's, I try to stay away from those as much as possible. But the only time that I will ever chime in is if there is a grown man or a grown woman going after a 17, 16-year-old kid.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to. They're kids. They're learning.
Right.
They're going through the most difficult time of their life so far.
They're not making $500,000 to go play at Campbell County High School.
No. You mean you've got these kids that are out there all day for a majority of the year, giving everything they've got for Campbell County. Whether the product reflects on the field, might be a different story, but the kid's work ethic is always going to be there.
Right.
Coach Owenby wants the best out of his players and the rest of the coaching staff.
Well, and you hit on a key point there. And, after the game on Friday, Jonah and I, we were standing outside the team huddle. And one of the things that Coach Owenby said is, this is not Campbell County football yet. We're still building it. And I wanted to touch on something really quick. And, this is probably going to be the last that I say of it, just because, it angers me. Mm-hmm. Because when you look at these kids, the ones who chose to stay, they didn't stay because they had to stay. They stayed because they wanted to stay.
Exactly.
Coach Owenby is not on the hill coaching because he has to be there coaching. He's there because he wants to be there. Mm-hmm. CJ Allen, Hunter White, Tyler Drummer, former Tennessee player on staff now, Troy Arnold, Chris Mays, Coach Romero, the offensive coordinator. Those guys are there because they want to be there. That is passion. That is the difference between needing to be somewhere and wanting to be somewhere. Those guys want to be there.
Absolutely,
and that is passion.
I mean, I watched CJ Allen. I watched Cody. I mean, I played football with Troy. CJ Allen, very possibly the best running back Campbell County's ever had.
And he's up there with the likes of Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson. I mean, everybody knows the legend of Chris Johnson in Campbell County, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, I hold CJ Allen to that same level. I mean, you got to think, when CJ was at Campbell County, there was no stopping him.
No.
I mean, I've seen the kid come out, get a bandage or a wrap put over his shoulder because he couldn't hold the ball in his right hand.
Mm-hmm.
He wraps it up. You know what he does the next play? Back out there running the ball. Passion. And he's bringing that and showing these young men, hey, this is the standard that Campbell County has. Now, granted, that was in a different coaching staff. Coach Justin and Matt Price were up on the hill at the time. I love Matt and Justin. They coached me when I was in high school ball. But Coach Owenby still, though, I mean, Campbell County has this reputation, and I'll say it. I'm an Anderson County guy, right? I'm used to having winning football all the time. Campbell County was not necessarily known for that as much.
No, we didn't have a winning season at Campbell County until 2004 when Dwayne took them to their first playoff appearance.
Yeah.
Set a school record of 5 wins.
Coach Wells comes in, starts this program on the right track. Then it goes back down a little bit, back down, and then bam, you've got Matt and Justin. And it's just like Campbell County is a football powerhouse right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was covering Campbell County at the time. They were awesome. And then last year we had the coach come in. I didn't watch any Campbell County, so I can't say anything bad about the coach that was up there. If I did, it just would be invalid, right? I mean, I'm not one to speak on that. What I can speak on is the coaching staff that's up there now. They know how to win. The players know how to win. It is getting the fan base to buy into it. The players have bought in. The coaches have bought in.
Right.
The fan base has to buy in. Otherwise, you might only see Coach Owenby here for 2 or 3 seasons, and everybody would hate that.
Right. And, the one thing that, you hate to see, as a college fan, everybody understands this a little bit more because we see it week in and week out. Obviously, it gets more coverage. And, I'm guilty of that as well. Like, big college football fan, big Tennessee fan. Everybody knows that. People say that media guys shouldn't be biased. Well, you've never met Jake Miller if you think that. But, when you have a coach leave, say Brian Kelly, for example, been at Notre Dame for, I think he had been there for 12 years?
A long time.
14 years at that point, and just jump ship.
Yeah.
Gone to
up and
LSU.
gone.
And what has he done since? A whole lot of nothing.
Made a whole lot of hot videos.
Golly. That man never needs to make another recruiting video for as long as he lives.
I get it. I mean, look at Tennessee. I mean, we can hop back to Tennessee. Lane Kiffin.
Mm-hmm.
Lane Kiffin's the way to go. We have his dad come in as defensive coordinator. The guy that created the Tampa 2 defense.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best defenses made in the modern era, in my opinion. I love the Tampa 2.
One of the best defensive coordinators ever.
Yes. I love Tampa 2. If anything else fails besides cover 2, Tampa 2. That's all you need. You can win a game off of it.
You can. That's why it's always an audible in NCAA 26.
Absolutely. It's one of my favorite ones. I mean, I run it in Madden. I ran it in Madden today.
Golly. Oh, Madden. But no, when you think about that too, with Lane Kiffin, setting the program back as far as he did. Like, and it wasn't just the fact that he left, it's the fact that everyone left with him, not just coaches, but you had players transferring out, the Bryce Brown situation, and then, David Oku transfers out the next year, Jansen Jackson gets kicked off the team next year, because you start losing all those guys. It's like, well, what happened, with Derek Dooley? Could he just not coach? It's like, well, you could partially say that, I guess, but you got to think too, like, all of his talent left. Like, he had a roster full of 3-stars.
Yeah, I mean, we get Tyler
Bray, Justin Hunter, and Dayrick Rogers.
Yeah,
a big Dayrick Rogers guy.
Dayrick Rogers
always will defend Dayrick Rogers.
Yeah, but I mean, time this back into high school ball, because that's what we're focused on right now. High school ball.
You got to have consistency.
So like I said, I went to AC. I was the last of the Larry Kerr crew at Anderson County. Larry Kerr, well-known head coach, very well-known. And then we get this guy, Davey Gillum, coming in after I graduate. And everybody's going, well, what if? What if? What's Davey going to bring to the table? Since then, you know what Davey's brought to the table?
Championships.
A state championship, several district championships, several regional championships. There's always a big question on what if. Matt and Justin, when they were at Campbell County, proved that local kids could support the local community. You didn't have transfers out. You didn't have any of that. Now, TSSAA and the state of Tennessee have approved a one-time transfer for any athlete.
And how do you feel about that? Because I'll be honest, I am in the group of that should not be allowed.
See, I'm in the group of let it happen, because, and I'll point it out this way, right? Last year we had Gavin Owens at Campbell County, transfer kid. Imagine how much easier his life would have been if this was a thing, and how much less stress that would have put on Gavin and his parents if he was just allowed to transfer. Now, granted, we're talking about from Cumberland Gap, not hugely known for football.
Right.
Or, I mean, their basketball team's pretty good. Traveling down to Campbell County, there's not a lot lost there.
Well, and, I say I'm not a big fan of it, and I guess I'm more so a fan of not being able to just run around and be like, oh, well, let's go form a super team here. Like, that's what I'm against more so than anything. Like, there needs to be parameters around it. If you're transferring, for academics, which shouldn't be the case because everybody in the state of Tennessee has the same curriculum.
Yeah.
Like, that shouldn't ever be discussed. Now, if you're transferring because it's a bad environment, with the coaching staff, or if it's a bad environment at the school for you, like, school's not been good to you, team's not been good to you, transfer.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm fine with that. And then, of course, you mentioned Cumberland Gap. We had some drama there on Friday as well. I don't know if you saw the video or not.
I didn't see anything.
I will show you the video during the break, and we will touch on that. Stay with us. Jake Miller Sports Talk continues right here on WLAF. Jake Miller Sports Talk is taking your calls and listening to you every Thursday at 6 p.m. over WLAF. Hi, this is former Cougar Jake Miller inviting you to join me for 2 hours talking Tennessee Vols, Campbell County Cougars, and beyond. See you at 6 p.m. on WLAF.
FM 100.9 WLAF. We've unlocked the vaults, and we're replaying Casey Kasem's American Top 40, the 70s. This week is from August 26, 1972. That's when Chicago spent Saturday in the Park. The Jackson 5 were looking through the windows. Donna Fargo was the happiest girl in the whole USA, and the Carpenters said goodbye to love. You'll hear those songs and all the top 40 hits from August 26, 1972, right here on American Top 40, the 70s. Saturday night at 7 on FM 100.9 WLAF.
Cougar fans, this is Coach O, and you're listening to my radio station, WLAF.
Don't touch that dial, don't change the channel on your TV remote, and don't close the tab on your phone. You're listening to WLAF, AM, FM, TV, and .com.
We've unlocked the vaults, and we're replaying Casey Kasem's American Top 40, the 80s. This week is from August 29th, 1981. That's when Stacy Ladisaw found love on a two-way street. Eddie Rabbitt was taking it step by step. The Manhattan Transfer told us about the boy from New York City, and Rick Springfield wanted Jesse's Girl. You'll hear those songs, all the top 40 hits, and the long-distance dedications from August 29th, 1981, right here on Casey Kasem's American Top 40, the 80s. Listen every weekend, Sunday at 8 p.m. over FM 100.9 WLAF.
FM 100.9 WLAF.
Back here on Jake Miller Sports Talk. Jake Miller alongside Daniel Collins. Pleased to be joined by my good friend, independent reporter Dawson Wise. Dawson, how we doing today, sir?
Jake, it's been a while, my friend. Glad to be back on the airwaves with you. I am good. In my car right now, actually headed to Atlanta for the game this weekend, and looking forward to it. But looking forward to get to chop it up with you a little bit here. It's been a long time. It's kind of a full circle thing. It's really cool.
It has been a long time indeed. Dawson, one of the first things that I wanted to touch on with this game, there are actually two historic implications that apply with this game and who we are playing. So obviously Tennessee taking on Syracuse. Dawson, the last time that Tennessee took on Syracuse to open up the year inside of a dome, what happened?
Well, I believe the year was 1998, from all that I've seen throughout this week. And Tennessee got a win. Obviously, it was the first game of T. Martin's tenure as starter. And as I recall, I'm pretty sure that season ended pretty nicely for the Big Orange.
I think it did as well with a national championship. That team was also led, the Syracuse team was led by Donovan McNabb as well. So that's a big name to throw out there as well for that. But Dawson, there's also another implication with this game and where it is played. The last two coaches that Tennessee has had that won this game to start the year, what happened later in the year?
I believe they, again, 1998 would have been one. The second one, 2001, in Neyland Stadium. The last two times these teams met, both times.
Oh, no, not Syracuse, just any team whatsoever. Oh. So we got to go back to 2012, a dominating win against NC State, and 2017, an overtime win against Georgia Tech. Two ACC schools. Both opened up the year in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. What happened later those years?
Well, as I recall it, both times the coach got fired. If that's what you're referring to, but
that is correct. So I hope that none of these have implications going forward into Saturday as Joey Aguilar takes his first start as the quarterback for the Tennessee Volunteers. Dawson, tell us a little bit about what you've heard going on and how you feel about the team moving forward in the season, specifically starting with the defense.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of anticipation in town for sure. You can kind of feel the buzz, and it's something that, it wasn't really as much there, maybe 2 years ago. It was there last year, but this year I think it's just different. Knowing what Tennessee has returning, I think there's a lot of anticipation for that, even with the question marks. Not as many of those, obviously, on defense. And I think that's where Tennessee's going to find some early success in that they have so many pieces coming back on defense. And, people are going to say, well, James Pierce is out the door. Well, Jermon McCoy is sidelined for a while. And, well, Will Brooks was great last year. He's gone now. Tennessee has so much depth behind those guys, especially up front, but in the secondary as well, that there can still be anticipation. The defensive line runs 13 deep again this year, even without Omari Thomas, without Omar Norman-Lott, without James Pierce. You've got guys stepping up, ready to take the next step, to be those next guys. Joshua Josephs in place of James Pierce. Also, Jordan Ross is going to be his sophomore season. He'll be set for what I would think would be a breakout, on the defensive line to replace some of those guys that their production's not there. And really, they don't really need to do that. If you look back last year, James Pierce, drafted in the first round, played less than 50% of Tennessee's defensive snaps last year. So you really didn't need to replace a whole lot of production. and that you're replacing a game-breaking player in James Pierce, and I think Tennessee is going to be able to do that next man up. I think the linebacking core is the best it's been under Josh Heupel by far, in terms of experience, in terms of health, in terms of skill. Arian Carter's an athletic freak. That guy's going to be in the NFL next year if he has a good enough year here in his what should be his final year on Rocky Top. Jeremiah Tielander's a ball hawk. He's a gamer. I think you've got a nice other side linebacker there to have for him. And then you've got guys behind them in depth. You've got Edwin Spillman, who got some reps last year. You've got some really talented freshmen with guys like Jaden Harmon coming in that I think are going to force Josh Heupel to do something he doesn't like to do a lot, and that's play freshmen. They're going to give him no choice. They're just that talented. So I think the linebacking room and what William Inge has done is the best under Heupel. I think that's going to be probably the unit that a lot of people maybe don't see coming nationally that maybe we can see here in Knoxville. And then the secondary has reloaded. Yeah, Jermod McCoy is probably not going to go on Saturday. That's pretty much been established. But Tennessee brings in Colton Hood from Colorado, who will likely slot into that place. Ricky Gibson is back on campus this year as well. You got Jalen McMurray that's going to step into kind of that Christian Harrison role that we saw Boo Carter share snaps with last year. Obviously, a lot of speculation around how much Boo will we see on Saturday. I'd expect a relatively normal workload for him on defense beyond that punt returns. Other than that, I don't think you'll see him much. But so you've got two guys rotating there. And then up top, you've got Andre Turrentine, and then you've got kind of a rotating spot for that last safety slot. Will Brooks filled it last year. It's going to be up to who fills it this year on the defensive side of the ball.
And you talk about, you don't know how much we'll see of Boo Carter. I just hope we see more of him than we have seen of his family on Facebook throughout this whole saga. That has just been absolutely ridiculous. Dawson, jumping over to the offensive side of the ball, when you look at the wide receivers, we've not really got to see a whole lot because a lot of them have been out. And I think going forward, honestly, just from what I've heard, that the offensive line is going to be fine. We're still going to be productive at running back. Because when you look at last year, everyone wants to say Nico. Dylan Sampson carried that team last year.
That was Dylan 100% last year.
It was Dylan Sampson and it was the offensive line. Mm-hmm. It was not Nico Iamaleava. When you look at his stats in the 4 major games that we played, he was a non-factor. I mean, you can honestly say that the guy was a non-factor. I mean, he had the touchdown pass against Alabama. Whoop-de-doo.
I agree.
Whoop-de-doo. Dylan Sampson carried that team. Who was the reason that Tennessee beat Florida? It was Dylan Sampson. You gave the ball to number 6 and you got out of his way. That's exactly what you did. So, Dawson, what do you expect out of the wide receivers and the quarterback room going into this game?
A lot of learning, I think, for both groups, at least for us, in terms of what we're gonna see. I mean, we really haven't been able to see a whole lot out of them. We've seen some camp stuff, and we've heard some things out of camp. That guys are impressive, but camp only because you're playing against your own team. You're not in a game environment. So I think you're going to see just a lot of learning, a lot of setting the bar for what this year is going to be based on what you see against a Syracuse team that, I understand they're not the Georgia Bulldogs that you're going to see in week 3. They're not Alabama that you'll see later in the year, or Florida or what have you. But they're still a quality opponent. It's still a power conference team. It's a well-coached team. So I think it's a good opportunity for us to kind of set the bar from week 1. Starting with quarterback, obviously Joey Aguilar gets the nod. It's going to be very evident, very quick, how much they trust Joey Aguilar. I think that's a big part of what we'll see this weekend specifically is how much does Josh Heupel trust him with the playbook? How much freedom does he give him with, taking some shots downfield and running some more complex stuff? I'm going to be really curious to see that part of it. If he's, dropping back and you got Mike Matthews running that deep choice route early, I think that means they've got a lot of trust in him to let it rip and be that playmaker, that gunslinger that they brought him in to be. So for quarterback specifically, it's going to be pretty obvious to me the first 5 or 6 snaps. I think if they trust Joey Aguilar, you will see him throw the ball 25 or more yards downfield on the opening drive. I would think in the opening set of downs, you'll see him take a shot downfield if they trust him. If not, maybe it'll take some more time, but I think as the game goes on, you'll see some more out of him too. He can use his legs if he has to. He can kind of throw it in tight windows if he has to, and that's not something Tennessee really had a lot of last year. So to me, the trust is a big factor in the quarterback room. For receivers, it's going to be experience. There's a lot of question marks based on the experience that these guys have or don't have. You've got Chris Brazel that comes back this year. I thought he was a little bit underwhelming last year, whether you judge it on quarterback play or not. I think that was part of it. So we'll see what he brings. Big frame, playmaker. So I think they'll be looking to him as option one. And from there, you've got some unproven, guys that have a lot of skill. Mike Matthews is the chosen one in the receiver room, right? Obviously, until the news we got about 15 minutes ago in terms of what's coming to Knoxville later. I think Mike Matthews is that guy right now. And I'm excited to see what he can do as a downfield guy and as a playmaker. I think that's where he's going to be. And then your slot guy is Braylon Staley, and he had some reps last year, but again, he just didn't break the starting lineup enough for me to know what you've got in him. He's a great presence in the slot, I think. He had some reps last year, specifically in the Arkansas game, helped Tennessee get down the field late in that game. So I think you got a taste of him. You just don't really know what you're getting. And then from there, it's talented freshmen or talented transfers. Amari Jefferson is a really dynamic guy with the ball in his hands, but we just haven't seen him yet. And then the freshmen, Travis Smith, Redarius Jackson, among others. You've got some serious dogs in that room, but they just haven't played. So it's a lot of question marks for me. It's what if, will the talent translate? If it does, I think Tennessee's offense could be really explosive and be back to where it should be. If not, obviously it's going to take some adjusting throughout the season. But you touched on the run game. That, to me, is going to help Aguilar and the receivers a lot, too. With Thomas and Peyton Lewis and Deshaun Bishop, that's a really good running back room. If they get going early, I think you'll see Aguilar and the receivers settle in, and then they can start trying stuff. They can start throwing more stuff in the playbook at Joey Aguilar. If the running backs pick up where Dylan Sampson left off, I think the offense will be just fine. But to me, the opening drive is going to tell me a lot in terms of how much they trust both the receivers and QB1.
Hey, Dawson. Daniel Collins here, Jake's co-host, sitting to his right. Speaking on the offensive line, who is going to be the anchor this year? I know we've had a Mays family member for the past, it seems like 20 years. But who are you looking at to be the lead on that offensive line this year?
Man, it's tough. It seems to be a battle right now. You did mention it seems like we've had a Mays on there for a long time, and we have. It's a tough loss. Obviously, I felt like Cooper Mays in his time at Tennessee was kind of one of the main pieces that helped the offense go. Just setting protections and running the tempo too. I think the center's the most important player for that. So to lose a guy like that is tough. But you've got William Satterwhite that's kind of been groomed for that position since he got on campus last year or the year before. So you've got him battling for that position, and you've got a veteran guy to Notre Dame, Sam Pendleton, who came in a couple of months back in the transfer portal. They appear to be battling for that spot. We don't have a ton of clarification on who's going to get the start. It may be a rotating thing that we'll have to wait and see on Saturday who runs out of the tunnel and starts, and from there it may swap depending on what Coach Heupel sees. So for now, I would give the nod to Satterwhite for experience, but Pendleton's a veteran guy that I would fully trust with his time at Notre Dame to come in and help run the offense too. Either of those guys, to me, it appears to be the heir apparent to Cooper Mays at the center position.
And Dawson, some of the news that's dropped today as well. Of course, everybody knows how I've been very critical about Rick Barnes. Everybody knows that, for the past 5 or so years that I was very critical of Coach Barnes and some of his, not necessarily game time decisions, but in-game decisions that he has made, whether that be, putting Grant Williams on the bench to start overtime against Purdue, or whether or not he did this or did that, the constant just pushing of Josiah Jordan James that we saw. But in the past 2 seasons, Dawson, we have made trips to the Elite Eight. Before Rick Barnes got here, Tennessee had only made 1 Elite Eight. That was under Bruce Pearl. Rick Barnes now has 2. And one of the things that stands out to me the most isn't this past Elite Eight. It's the Elite Eight before that, when we took on Purdue. And you had Jonas Adu, knew he was leaving, knew he wanted more money, and we didn't give it to him. But then you had J.P. Estrella, a true freshman, go in and battle it out with the best center in the country, the Naismith Player of the Year, and J.P. Estrella did exactly what you needed him to do and really earned his stripes as a Tennessee Volunteer. Now, skip ahead to August of 2025. Rick Barnes, after making 2 Elite Eights, has signed a lifetime contract with the University of Tennessee. Dawson, your thoughts on that and your favorite Rick Barnes story?
Well, it's hard to disagree, I think, with the decision. And, I know there's going to be judgments back and forth about the tournament, about March. But, I think when it comes down to it, just the radical change, between 2014 when Rick Barnes came to Tennessee and really, if you want to start back in 2019, when the team started to make the second weekend of the tournament, just the radical change in the program and the culture and the expectations for the team that just completely skyrocketed under Rick Barnes, regardless of whether or not you make it to the third weekend, which is a hill that he has yet to climb. But despite that, your expectation is that now. And I think that means something because, in the years between the end of Bruce Pearl and the beginning of Rick Barnes, that was not the expectation in Knoxville to make the Final Four, even the Elite Eight. It was just make the tournament. And with Rick Barnes coming in, now you've established, hey, we want to be one of the last 4 teams left in the country. And if we're not, we're going to start, discussing, hey, was this season a failure? And I think that really speaks for itself to me and why the decision was made today to give Rick Barnes what he's been given and give him the lifetime contract to allow him to continue to do what he's been doing. I think also you've seen him adapt over the last few years. I know the complaint was, well, the style of basketball doesn't really work and it's too slow and defense is great, but when you get to the tournament, you have to be able to score points. And I think you've seen Rick Barnes adapt in real time, signing players like Dalton Connect, signing players like Chaz Lanier, and even adapting his own players on the roster to play that kind of basketball, like a Zakai Ziegler or a Jemai Meshack, guys that came in to play the defensive slow style and ended up in a system where Tennessee's not playing that, and those guys still thrived and even ended up in the NBA, a few of them. So I think you've seen Rick Barnes adapt. The tempo's faster now. The offense has changed. There's still that defensive DNA that we're so used to, but Tennessee plays modern offense now because Rick Barnes goes out and gets players that can do it. So I think you've watched him adapt in an era of college basketball where the game is changing really fast. And I think you've seen Rick Barnes kind of catch up. In terms of stories, there's so many. There's so many stories that you could go back on Rick Barnes, and I'm blanking on a specific one just at this point. But anytime he gets out of his shell and gets into the face of an official, which again is kind of a newer thing for him, I think. But when he's arguing with the official and being a little more demonstrative, I remember, I'm not sure which year this was. This was last year or the year before. One of those times he got angry at the official and just the water bottle. And I mean, that thing blew up on the sideline. His coaches went diving for cover because he'd thrown this water bottle, and that thing exploded on the sideline. I remember I watched that clip and was like, man, this is not the Rick Barnes that I remember in terms of, being willing to be demonstrative like that. He's never been that guy. He's been the deacon. He's been the reverend. And he had never really been that guy. So that's probably what comes to mind first off for me in terms of Rick Barnes' stories.
Absolutely. Love it. Dawson, once again, thank you so much for hopping on with us, man. It's always great to be able to have these conversations with you. Tell us where to find you on X.
Yeah, as of right now, still going strong on X. The account handle is at Dawson Wise FSK for now. Doing my thing, reporting when stuff happens. Obviously, covered the big news of the day earlier with Barnes, and covered the big flip here just about 15 minutes ago with the next era wide receiver for Tennessee making the switch. So some big deals today, and obviously looking forward. Football starting, so I'm going to be covering the game this weekend in Atlanta. And from there, it's on to football season and eventually basketball season. We're hoping to be more involved with the Lady Vols again this year with Kim Caldwell. A lot of anticipation for that team too. So can't wait to cover them. Can't wait to cover the football team and cover some high school ball here in East Tennessee as well. I've started to bring that into my coverage realm as well.
Well, we might have something for you coming up here in a couple of weeks. Dawson, thank you so much, man. We'll talk soon.
Appreciate the time, guys.
That is Dawson Wise, independent reporter for the University of Tennessee. Stay with us. We're going to take a quick time out here, get some of your phone calls in here. 423-562-1450, your number if you want to hop on the show. Stay with us. Jake Miller Sports Talk continues right here on WLAF. Jake Miller Sports Talk is taking your calls and listening to you every Thursday at 6 p.m. over WLAF. Hi, this is former Cougar Jake Miller inviting you to join me for 2 hours of talking Tennessee Vols, Campbell County Cougars, and beyond. See you at 6 p.m. on WLAF.
FM 100.9 WLAF.
This is Coach Ryan Browning. Thank you for listening to my radio station, 1450 WLAF.
We've unlocked the vaults, and we're replaying Casey Kasem's American Top 40, the 70s. This week is from August 26, 1972. That's when Chicago spent Saturday in the Park. The Jackson 5 were looking through the windows. Donna Fargo was the happiest girl in the whole USA, and the Carpenters said goodbye to love. You'll hear those songs and all the top 40 hits from August 26, 1972, right here on American Top 40, the 70s. Saturday night at 7 on FM 100.9 WLAF.
FM 100.9 WLAF celebrates its 72nd year being on the air in 2025. We salute Lansdowne Hill and the folks at E.E. Hill & Son Insurance on their 100th year in business in 2025. Congratulations, E.E. Hill & Son Insurance, from your friends at WLAF.
We've unlocked the vaults, and we're replaying Casey Kasem's American Top 40, the 80s. This week is from August 29th, 1981. That's when Stacy Ladisaw found love on a two-way street. Eddie Rabbitt was taking it step by step. The Manhattan Transfer told us about the boy from New York City. And Rick Springfield wanted Jesse's Girl. You'll hear those songs, all the top 40 hits, and the long-distance dedications from August 29th, 1981, right here on Casey Kasem's American Top 40, the 80s. Listen every weekend, Sunday at 8 p.m. over FM 100.9 WLAF.
FM 100.9 WLAF.
Jake Miller, Sports Talk, WLAF. Got Jonah Brassfield sitting in right now. Jonah, I got a question for you. As tomorrow's game against Cherokee gets closer and closer, about 24 hours out, I got to know something.
What's that?
Am I going to have sweaty knees and a sweaty back like I did last week?
Well, Jake, I got good news for you. I don't really think we will.
Okay.
You know, the humidity, it shouldn't be as bad this week, so that should be a good sign for some knees that aren't sweaty.
I'll tell you what, the one thing about last week, we can find some comedic relief in it because, Jim was nice enough, and shout out to Burgess for getting us those rain jackets. Well, Once I got the rain jacket on, I was like, well, if it starts raining on the field, I want to keep my phone dry because that's how we do the sideline reporting. That's how I do the interviews after the game. And I'm like, I've got to keep this thing on. So it's like 90 degrees outside. And I've got this rain jacket on. And it's vented a little bit, but it doesn't matter what you have on, how vented your shirt is. If it's 90 degrees outside in East Tennessee, the humidity, you're going to sweat.
Yes, with last week, it was hot, it was humid, it had just rained, and you put that rain jacket on and it vents, but it's not super light. I tell you, it got sweaty and it got hot fast.
Well, I think the best part about it was after the game, we're going up to the press box, meet up with Les and Brent and Aaron and everybody else, and I take my jacket off. I'm like, oh my goodness, I am soaked. And you're like, what, from sweat or rain? I'm like, yes, all of the above. All of the above. Jonah, what is the weather forecast that we got for tomorrow?
For tomorrow at kickoff, the temperatures are going to be in the mid-60s or mid-70s. Sorry.
Oh, this is going to be
with low humidity. I mean, these temperatures we've had this week, they've been absolutely beautiful, and they're going to continue through the weekend, through Labor Day. It's looking pretty good for the next little bit, quite honestly. So tomorrow, it's going to be a great evening for Friday Night Football.
Well, you can tell that it's getting to my type of weather right now, and I just realized that you can actually see my orange shorts on the television. If you're watching on the live stream or watching on channel 1089 at home, it's shorts and it's quarter zip weather for me.
Yeah.
And if you want to wear the quarter zip, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Still rocking the Chacos from 2014.
Got to.
Hey, the thing about those is once you get them broken in, you have to keep them.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get rid of a good pair of Chacos. because there's nothing worse than breaking them in. But once they're broken in, you are smooth sailing probably for the rest of your life.
Them things never go bad.
They never go bad. They never go bad. Kind of like powdered milk. But Jonah, when we talked about last week too, I was talking with Daniel a little bit about this, and of course he was watching the game at home, and you were on the sideline with me. And one of the things I noticed, team morale was not by any means just crushed.
No, not one bit.
And I think it helped too, and I feel like, Daniel mentioned it's like, the players are buying into Coach Owenby. I am 100% a believer in that, because as we stood there, you didn't see crushed spirits. You did not see anybody with bad morale. Nobody's having a bad attitude. Everybody's just happy to be there. And, like we said earlier in the show, when we sat there and we heard Coach Owenby say, this is not Campbell County football yet. We're still building it. And the players looked at him and it's like, we got you, kind of deal.
Yeah. I think you all made a great point earlier that all these guys, the coaches, the players, they want to be there. They want to play for Campbell County.
Yes.
And you could tell on the sideline, they wanted to be there. They were happy to be there. Sure, they lost, but they knew that wasn't Campbell County football, that they're going to build throughout the year. They knew that process is going to happen, and they're excited for the season.
Absolutely. And, we look at this, too, as we go into tomorrow, going up to Cherokee. Of course, Cherokee had a good season last year. But as we have mentioned, things change year to year.
They do.
Things change from year to year. You could go 10-0 one year, and you can go 0-10 the next. That's how the sports world works. And, of course, Rogersville, that's an area as well in which they don't get to pick and choose their talent pool.
Mm-hmm.
You get some of these schools, I think we've got Anderson County taking on Catholic tonight, if I am not mistaken. I think you've actually got it on the iPad.
Yeah, it's playing on the iPad right now.
That game kicks off at 7. Of course, Daniel, he's Anderson County grad, all for Anderson County going over to Dorman Blaine Stadium at Catholic, which, funny enough, former Tennessee coach Butch Jones made a donation, and I'm pretty sure his name is on the video board at Catholic High School, a.k.a. the Butch Bowl.
Oh, I don't even know if I can say it, but that is enough reason not to root for Catholic.
I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. There is nothing that can be changed about that. The man made the donation. His name is on that stadium forever. And the alumni over there can get mad all they want. It's like, it's Dorman Blaine Stadium. It's Dorman Blaine Stadium. It's the Butch Bowl.
The name is there.
It is there, and it is there forever. It's like we have Rocky Top. You have the Butch Bowl. LSU has Death Valley. You have the Butch Bowl. There is nothing that they can do to change that. That name is there forever. But, Jonah, one of the things that I wanted to highlight, last weekend, give a shout out to you on was your elite camera work that you had.
Thank you.
On the sidelines. That was fantastic camera work because, I was expecting, we get a few pictures maybe pre-snap or post-snap, as they're coming, and you're getting live action shots.
Yes.
And then the live photo on top of that. One of the things that you and I caught, well, we didn't catch. Campbell County receiver catches the ball, called incomplete. And you're like, hey, I've got the live photo. I'm like, oh, okay, Mr. Cameraman. It's like, let's see it. Sure enough, the ball was caught and he rolled over.
Yeah, it's one of the refs, they miss calls like that. It does happen. But, I mean, that's one that they couldn't miss.
No.
It was plain as day. And, catching it on that camera, I would, as much as I would like to say that was my skill, it was more than likely just a lucky catch with the camera and the live photo. It came in clutch there. But they can't miss it. It was right in front of the refs, and they could not miss that.
And then
they did.
And then a couple of calls, and we finally got some clarity on one. I actually got it the next day. We were wondering about the unsportsmanlike conduct call because you and I were looking at each other, and Coach White, he was walking over. I'm like, can anyone tell me what just happened? Like, because in the college game, you have clarification because the ref's got a mic.
Yeah.
We don't have a mic in high school football, so it's like didn't get clarification. I finally got clarification on it, and after I heard what happened, it's like, okay, yeah, we probably deserve that. It is what it is. But one of the things that you and I wanted to talk about today, and you know where I'm going with this. Should high schools be allowed to have their bands play pre-snap and during the play?
Oh, That's what we was joking on the sidelines that we was having Battle of the Bands in Lenoir City.
Oh, I was getting frustrated because I couldn't hear Les and Brent. I think they tried to send it down to us once or twice, and I just didn't hear it.
It was playing over noise-canceling headphones.
Yes. And then, of course, the one thing, like, and I understand the bands, like, that's been going on for years, and I get that to a degree, but the light show while the play is still going on, not a fan of that at all.
No.
Not a fan of that, period. After the score is made, after a big play on defense, after the play is dead, sure, whatever. During the play, absolutely not. That should not happen.
Yeah, well,
And, you know, one of the things that we had talked about, it's like, I sat there and I was like, is that Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus? And sure enough, it was. It was coming from the student section on the other side of the field. And I looked at you, I was like, I am 90% sure that is not allowed.
yeah, it felt like they're, and I don't know if they're rules, but it felt like there were rules that if they're not there, they need to be there because you shouldn't be able to have this artificial noise. And that light thing, it feels almost like it's an injury hazard there. I mean, you have players running and making tackles in almost dark. How is that legal at all?
It shouldn't be. Not a fan of that by any means. Maybe we should just, jumping into wrestling just a little bit, jumping into wrestling here. Jonah, do you know what the bloodline is?
I've heard of it, but I do not know.
So basically, you know who The Rock is.
Yes.
Do you know Roman Reigns?
Yes.
So Roman Reigns and The Rock are related. They come from the Anoa'i family, which now has it's 10 plus wrestlers in WWE.
Wow.
So you had The Rock, Rikishi, Umaga, and a couple others all in that one generation. And then it's funny, one of the kids made the argument, he's like, yeah, we Samoans, we have 12 kids per family. So now there's 12 of us in WWE. Maybe we need a bloodline. Like maybe we need to start like our little enforcement, like find our enforcer. Maybe Daniel can be the enforcer for us on the sidelines. Yeah.
I think we might need that.
And I mean, if something needs cut, all you need to do is go to Home Depot and get those red tools, right?
Exactly.
That's all you got to do. Just go to Depot, get those red tools. And as we travel to Cherokee tomorrow, one of the things I'm looking forward to is seeing how much more the offense opens up. And we saw, like we talked about last week, we saw major improvements in this offense that we did not see during the scrimmages. Eli was making throws that you did not expect out of him, and there was a couple that he made on Friday. I'm like, okay, like that's some major progression in 2 weeks. But then we jump back to the interviews that we had done with Coach Owenby beforehand, saying, well, we're not really going to open up the playbook too much during these scrimmages, just that way nobody has anything to go off of. Because you never know who's in the stands. You know who is on your sideline. You might know that your mom and dad's in the stands, but you never know who else is in the stands.
Yeah.
There could be assistant coaches from other teams coming in and watching what you're doing. But at the end of the day, he opens up the playbook, and we start to see this offense kind of for what it is. He's not going to open up the whole playbook in the first game. You don't do that as a head coach. You save some of it. And I think he and Coach Romero have done a fantastic job, implementing what they want to implement, because when 30 seconds left to go in the first half, Jonah, the score was 15-7, and it very well could have been a tie ball game, had Campbell County not thrown the interception there in the second quarter, and I stand by that. That was probably the turning point in the game. And, things like that just happen in football.
They do.
Team gets momentum, especially at this level, at the high school, college, middle school, and little league level. Once you get momentum, you just got it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it. That's a big part of football. But heading into halftime, had Lenoir City not ran that kickoff back for a touchdown, you could make the argument that game could have gone a completely different direction, because Campbell County was getting the ball back. And there's nothing better than scoring at the end of half and then getting the ball back. So if they were able to make a stop there, you might be looking at a completely different ball game.
I think you definitely would have been. I mean, they were, they had struggled a little bit early on, but then as, the first half went on, they started containing Lenoir City's run game. And then, like you say, you had the quarterback catching fire. He was hitting passes left and right. The game was close, and then they ran that kickoff back, and it's like the momentum died right there. And we could have had a really close game in the second half, but that kickoff got ran back, and then, after halftime, they come back, they started running the football on us, and all of a sudden, that game was out of hand before you even knew it.
It was, and, jumping back to the first half, up until that 30 seconds. That's kind of an indication of what we're going to see going forward.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were playing hard-nosed football at that point, making plays. And not just on the offensive side of the ball, but the defensive side of the ball as well. I think we had a 3-and-out, or Lenoir City did on the opening drive. And you and I kind of looked at each other. It's like, okay, all right. Yeah. We've got some defensive power here. We got some pressure on the quarterback. The run game wasn't doing anything. And the guys were making tackles, and not arm tackles, like we had seen during the scrimmages, but making like wrap-up tackles, like true full-blown football tackles. And I looked at you, you looked at me, it's like, okay, all right, we might have something here. So I think going forward throughout the rest of the year, you're going to see this team improve. And, like Daniel had mentioned earlier in the broadcast, that your first 5 games are going to determine a lot. It's going to tell you a lot about this team. You're going to see the team grow over those first 5 weeks. And in the back half of the season, and unfortunately this is how it goes, that's what you see, or that's when you see what you really have in your team. Stay with us. Hour number 1 in the books. Hour number 2 of Jake Miller Sports Talk coming up right here on WLAF.
Jake Miller Sports Talk is taking your calls and listening to you every Thursday at 6 p.m. over WLAF. Hi, this is former Cougar Jake Miller inviting you to join me for 2 hours talking Tennessee Vols, Campbell County Cougars, and beyond. See you at 6 p.m. on WLAF.
FM 100.9 WLAF.
All of us here at WLAF say thank you to you, Big Josh Etter, for 20 memorable years of great radio on WLAF.
We've unlocked the vaults, and we're replaying Casey Kasem's American Top 40, the 70s. This week is from August 26, 1972. That's when Chicago spent Saturday in the Park. The Jackson 5 were looking through the windows. Donna Fargo was the happiest girl in the whole USA, and the Carpenters said goodbye to love. You'll hear those songs and all the top 40 hits from August 26, 1972, right here on American Top 40, the 70s. Saturday night at 7 on FM 100.9 WLAF.
Jake Miller Sports Talk is taking your calls and listening to you every Thursday at 6 p.m. over WLAF. Hi, this is former Cougar Jake Miller inviting you to join me for 2 hours talking Tennessee Vols, Campbell County Cougars, and beyond. See you at 6 p.m. on WLAF.
FM 100.9 WLAF. We've unlocked the vaults, and we're replaying Casey Kasem's American Top 40, the 80s. This week is from August 29th, 1981. That's when Stacy Ladisaw found love on a two-way street. Eddie Rabbitt was taking it step by step. The Manhattan Transfer told us about the boy from New York City. And Rick Springfield wanted Jesse's Girl. You'll hear those songs, all the top 40 hits, and the long-distance dedications from August 29th, 1981, right here on Casey Kasem's American Top 40, the 80s. Listen every weekend, Sunday at 8 p.m. over FM 100.9 WLAF.
This is AM 1450 and FM 100.9. WLAF La Follette, the home of American Top 40, the 70s with Casey Kasem.
FM 100.9 WLAF.
Wolfpack is back, cause I'm mass destruction. Guess who's here? The bad boys of wrestling. Testing competition when the
1450 WLAF, Jake Miller Sports Talk continues here at the 7 o'clock hour. Guys, the Jake Miller Sports Talk Show is presented by the Marlowe Agency with Shelter Insurance. Derek and company are here to serve you to not only protect your assets, but protect you as well. Whether it be your home, your car, your boat, your business, or your life, the Marlowe Agency does it all. Give them a call today at 423-352-7735. That's the Marlowe Agency with Shelter Insurance, 423-352-7735, and let them know you heard about them right here on Jake Miller Sports Talk. Daniel, looks like we got some headlines.
As a Green Bay Packer fan.
Oh, here we go.
As a Green Bay Packer fan, here, I'll show the camera. You see the Packers ring?
He is so embedded in this.
I am so excited. The Packers have quite possibly the best defensive end, outside linebacker, in the league now. That's right. Micah Parsons, his tumultuous, my words come, word. His time in Dallas is over. He can now live. Micah Parsons is now with the Green Bay Packers. The Packers stole him, Jake. Stole him. I think Jerry Jones just wanted him gone. But some statistics for Micah Parsons. He's signed with the Packers for 4 years, $188 million, with $120 million guaranteed.
That's $45 million a year.
$45 million a year. Now, the kicker for the Packers. You know what they gave up for this? 2 first-round draft picks and a slot on the offensive line. Now, granted,
they stole him.
The offensive line for the Packers is important. We got Josh Jacobs, awesome running back. Jordan Love, meh, I don't like him.
He's no Brett Favre.
No, he's not Brett Favre. He's not Aaron Rodgers in his prime. But
pre-Danica Aaron.
Yeah, this is huge for not only Green Bay but the NFL. Right, that makes Micah Parsons now the highest paid defensive end in the league.
That is, man.
$140 million guaranteed.
That is, I mean, and you see these contracts now, and it's ridiculous to think.
That's quarterback money.
Yeah, that is starting quarterback money.
Yeah, that does not happen on the defensive side of the ball.
No, not by any stretch.
No, it's just my mind. Jake is my witness. As soon as I seen it, I sent Jake a text. I was like, "Holy moly, we got him!"
I think you used different verbiage.
There were some different words used, but you know.
I mean, it's just one of those deals. That's your initial reaction. It's the same reaction I had when I saw Brock Lesnar come out at SummerSlam against John Cena, which might have some wrestling news to get to here.
We might, very well might,
and not just on the WWE level, but maybe on
local level. Yeah, no, we've got some local shows that are in the works. I'll be able to provide more update of those as I get them. Got a guy who's been in the local wrestling scene for years. Tell me that there might be some stuff in the works for some Campbell County shows maybe, which would be awesome. I know we've got several local wrestlers here, local talent, that would be interested in it.
Have you ever heard about the time that I did professional wrestling lessons?
No.
The look on your face. I wish we had a camera on.
No. No, what I'm imagining, though, is your mom.
Jacob, honey.
Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
It's like, oh, well, Mike's coming to get me. Oh, then okay. Uncle Mike gets a call.
Yeah. Uncle Mike's the one.
Hey, Missy,
it ain't nothing. And if y'all don't know, Jake and I are cousins. With the Reynolds blood runs strong.
It's funny because I get it on both sides. I get the Marlowe bloodline, and then I get the Reynolds bloodline.
Oh, you're just all kinds of messed up. I just got the Reynolds and the Henniger. Side of.
It's like, I don't know. It's like the two things that probably shouldn't have mixed, and then here I am.
Yeah, and there you are.
I mean, didn't turn out too bad.
No, I mean, your mom's a mess.
Well, yeah, but I take after my mama.
Yeah, you do. And listen, she sent I have to mention this because I have laughed. My wife and your mom were texting each other back and forth about sewing stuff. Nothing super important. And I know this is totally off topic, but your mom just out of the blue sends a picture of a porch goose.
Oh, the porch goose.
Yes. And my wife is like going out of her mind. She's like, we need a porch goose. I'm like, honey, we do not need a porch goose. She's like, but we need one. And so what do you know? The next day I'm looking on Amazon. Porch geese.
Wait, you have geese? Not a goose, but you have a geese.
There might be geese.
You have geese, not a geese. You have geese.
I have geese. There might be some geese in the works. Thanks, Missy. I appreciate it.
Dang it, Missy. Oh my goodness. But no, that what were we even talking about? Oh, my professional wrestling.
Yeah, your
lessons.
professional wrestling lessons.
So, in other words, I didn't necessarily learn how to wrestle. I learned how to take a bump. I took bumps for 2 hours.
You're the professional bump guy.
I am the bump guy. I'm the jobber. I learned how to take a body slam, a power bomb, a suplex, a pile driver, which is now banned in the WWE, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest.
I was too scared to jump off the top rope.
If there was going to be a wrestler come out of the Reynolds bloodline, I would not have expected it to be you. I would have expected it to be like Uncle James or somebody like that.
Or Jay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Mark might be able to get in the ring.
Oh, yeah, Mark.
Mark might be able to get in the ring.
Mark might be able to. Yeah. But anyways, let's focus back up. And
Jake Miller, professional jobber. Maybe I can get in the ring.
You should. I mean, you know what? We should have a WLAF wrestling match. Matt might want to get down on that.
Matt might want to get on it, and Matt's buddy might want to get in on it. So then George Hooks at the high school.
Oh, not George.
George will get involved. And then Coach Kitts with the girls' basketball team will want to get involved.
We might have just come up with $1 billion idea.
So then I'm going to call Gage Highslope over at Jellicoe High School, and we're going to be like, Gage, listen, I need you to get your guys, and I need you to bring them on the other side of the mountain. Bring them home with you. And we're going to have the Battle of the Tower.
The Battle of the Tower.
That's what we're going to have, the Battle of the Tower. I can't say that. The Battle of the Tower is forever going to be Caden Poston versus Zach Lloyd.
Oh, folks, if you all have not seen them on Facebook,
it's a sight to be seen.
It is a sight to be seen. Anytime Caden posts about something with UT, Zach's going to be on there talking about Kentucky and how awful they are. Oh, no. Zach's going to be saying, oh, Kentucky's so good. Wildcats go rare. And Caden's going to lose his mind. It's just going to be a fiasco. But it's funny to watch.
Well, and then what I can do, too, is I can make a call to another guy who's also named Jake that is known very well, that will be more than happy to call in and chime in and give his opinion.
Oh, I'm sure. I know one guy that used to go by the name Fat Pat.
Oh, no. Let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
Other headlines. Rick Barnes, of course, as we talk with Dawson, has accepted a lifetime contract with the University of Tennessee. I think it's very much deserved, even though, in the past I've been very critical of Rick Barnes. If you would follow me for any amount of time, how critical I have been of Coach Barnes and his tenure at the University of Tennessee, because I do believe that there are some cases in which Tennessee should have made a Final Four and didn't, but that's neither here nor there. What we're talking about is what we have done in the past 2 years and what we're going to be doing beyond. And this quote that I'm about to tell you ties in not only to Tennessee basketball, but it ties in Tennessee football, Campbell County basketball, Lady Cougar basketball, and even across the mountain over with our friends at Jellicoe High School. Those who look only to the past or the present are certain to miss the future. And I really like what the future holds for Tennessee basketball. I'm skeptical about what the future holds for Tennessee football, but I'm really excited about the future of all of Campbell County athletics. And of course, Jellicoe, you look at Mike Reynolds, the basketball team, he's already taken them to a state tournament, first time in school history, and it's because he wanted to be there. He didn't have
Mike
to be
there. And I'm not just saying this because he's blood or anything. Mike is a phenomenal, I can't speak enough. The man is a godsend to Jellicoe High School.
Oh, they love him.
He is a godsend to Jellicoe High School.
And then, of course, you got Brent over there running the football team.
Brent Peel, Derek Turner. I think there's a few of them.
Justin Crabtree was on staff for a minute.
Yeah.
And they've done a fantastic job.
They've done a great job.
Yeah, they absolutely do a fantastic job over there. And, it feels good to be able to bring in both schools from the county onto the show because, there's good stuff going on that side of the mountain. There's good stuff going on this side of the mountain.
There is.
As well.
Just to touch on some UT football, like what we've been talking about, my biggest thing is every Tennessee fan, we all know how weak our secondary has been. Right? If we're going to yell at something, we're going to yell at the secondary.
We're going to yell at Kamal Haddon.
Yeah.
He's not here anymore, but
I'm still going to yell at him.
Oh, yeah.
And my wife will still like to hear me yell, "Run, Nico, run the ball."
I mean, he didn't. The only time he ran out of bounds.
I know, in the most pivotal point of a game, but anyways, it's besides the point.
Yeah, I believe in Joe Henry. I believe in Joe Milton because that's exactly what he did. He did the Joe Milton.
Yeah, he did. He pulled a Joe Milton on us.
I love Joe.
But speaking of Joe Milton, he's with the Cowboys now.
He is.
And apparently if Dak goes down, which Dak does, Joe Milton's going to see some big play time this year.
Selfishly, I hope it happens because I love me some Joe Milton.
Dude's got a cannon.
Oh, he has a cannon, and he will always have a job in the NFL because of the howitzer that is on his right arm.
Yep.
He will always have a job just because of that.
Yeah, I mean, you can coach accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
You can coach a lot of things. You cannot coach arm power.
No. You either got it or you don't.
Exactly.
It's like speed.
Yeah. The two intangibles.
And something that a lot of people forget about Joe Milton. If you watch the game in 2022 against Alabama, you hear Hendon Hooker, you hear Jalen Hyatt.
Mm-hmm.
Hendon Hooker to Jalen Hyatt. Hendon Hooker to Jalen Hyatt. 5 touchdowns between those two that day. What happened on the last play of the first half? Who was your quarterback during that play?
Joe Milton.
It was Joe Milton, who almost completed a Hail Mary to Brew McCoy on the left side of the field.
Yeah.
If Brew could have hung on to the football.
If Brew, yeah. I love Brew too.
Brew's a good guy.
I love Brew. He's an amazing, amazing young man.
But he is no day Rick Rodgers.
Here we go. Here we go. But speaking of Jalen Hyatt and Hendon Hooker, Jalen Hyatt with the Giants, he's with the team.
That's all we know.
But the kid, he can't catch a ball anymore.
I don't know what happened.
I have no clue. He cannot catch a ball anymore. And that's just something that don't just disappear.
No.
You know, at Tennessee, Jalen Hyatt had phenomenal ball skills.
Mm-hmm.
He just can't, I don't know. He cannot find a ball right now.
Did he have it the entire time he was here, though? Because you look back at that 2021 season, he was almost a non-factor in that receiving corps.
That's true. His senior year, or
Junior year. Yeah.
I don't know. And then Hendon, been with the Lions forever, finds himself on the Panthers now, behind Bryce Young.
Interesting.
That might be, Hendon has proven himself. He's a good quarterback.
He's a great quarterback. At the collegiate level.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we've seen Carolina pull their quarterback? We've seen Carolina pull Bryce Young last year.
We did.
Does history repeat itself when we see Hendon Hooker as a valuable piece on the Carolina offense?
That I'm really looking forward to watch. And you don't wish for anybody to do terrible unless they come out of Alabama, which Bryce Young did, or Florida or Georgia at this point.
Yeah, that's fair.
And Kentucky.
That's fair. Yeah, that's very fair.
Unless your name's Tyler Hero or Bam Adebayo, because I'm a Miami Heat guy.
Oh. I'm a Lakers fan. I have been for years.
Oh, man. So you have to deal with LeBron.
I'm pre-LeBron.
You're the Kobe guy.
I'm Team Kobe through and through.
Forever a Kobe guy.
I've never cried at an athlete or any kind of celebrity dying. When Kobe Bryant died, I cried. I am man enough to admit it.
That was probably the hardest one because, we see, it was common in wrestling there for a while, like really common.
Oh, yeah. You had like Chris Benoit. You had
Eddie Guerrero.
Chris Benoit, we won't talk about. That was a messed up situation. But Eddie Guerrero.
Big Boss, it was Big Boss Man.
Big Boss Man. Owen Hart. I mean, just going back a few years, but Owen Hart with his. Was it Owen? It was Owen.
It was Owen. He fell 80 feet at the Kemper Arena in St. Louis. And then you had Umaga, which really didn't get talked about a lot.
No.
And then here recently you had, Bray Wyatt.
That was, you don't hear about it.
No. And I think they've, done what they need to do as far as, the substance abuse programs, because that is one of the things that they really wanted to crack down on was that. And the concussions, like, I mentioned the pile driver is banned because, what people don't realize, like Stone Cold actually broke his neck because of a pile driver.
Yeah.
Like, put him out of action for a little bit.
I mean, you got to think though. There's been men that have made millions off Undertaker. His signature move, Tombstone Piledriver. Just watching Undertaker growing up, he'd Tombstone Piledrive them. Then he crosses their arms and he lays over top of them and flicks his hair back, and that tongue comes out, and you're like, that dude's messed up.
Yeah.
But that was awesome.
And then you hear him talk for real, because all we hear on TV is rest in peace.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting here talking to you like this the whole time. When
He's just super cool dude, you know? Yeah. Same with Kane, Mark Jacobs.
Glenn Jacobs.
Mark Jacobs. Mark Jacobs was he was in the WWE too, wasn't he? Yeah, he was.
I think so.
Yeah, he was. I'm not crazy.
No, you're not crazy at all. I'm crazy. That's why I'm in radio. That's why you're here with me.
That's why I'm here as well.
You're about to inherit some of the genes. You're about to become part of the crazy.
Yes.
And there's just absolutely nothing that can be done. Anthony chimes in. He says, who is your favorite WWE wrestler of all time?
Easily Bill Goldberg.
You like Bill Goldberg?
Yeah.
Everybody hated working with him.
I loved Bill Goldberg. Dude, there was nothing more electric than watching a spear.
You know what my favorite all time was?
No, let me take that back. Rhino.
Oh, Rhino was insane. The gore.
No, Rhino. Absolutely Rhino. Yeah. There's not a doubt. Rhino, for sure.
Rikishi was my favorite.
Oh, Rikishi. I seen Rikishi's son's like playing for Hawaii. Football or something.
It's either his... Like I said, there's so many of them that we don't know if it's his son, his nephew, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Of course, his sons Jay and Jimmy, still wrestling, and have the #1 played WWE theme on Apple Music right now. By the way,
who's your favorite?
All time.
It's
got to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. I say that because you have to look at guys that have transcended the industry. Kind of like when you look at basketball or you look at football, like who transcended the game. And you think of guys like Emmitt Smith, you think of guys like Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, and now like getting into the more modern stuff, Steph Curry, basketball, guys that have transcended the game. You look at guys that have done the most for the business, transcended the business, and you have to look at Stone Cold Steve Austin. You have to look at The Rock and guys like
John Cena.
I think he's got 10 shows left.
John Cena. I mean, Cena and The Rock both do amazing work off of the WWE circuit.
If I never see The Rock again, though, I'm not going to be upset about it.
You're welcome.
Would be fine if I never, ever, shout out to Chris Jericho, saw The Rock again. Matthew has stolen the mic.
I'm going to pass along some breaking news right now. We're listening to the scanner traffic at the moment. Looks like there is a wreck near Advanced Auto Parts. Scanner reports that it is a car versus building. We'll keep you up to date with details on that. For the latest, check 1450WLAF.com. Back to the show.
I'm going to hide what I want to say. I'm going to hide it. No need to get into that. Absolutely no need to get into that.
No.
But it could be worse. It could be a lot worse.
I mean, at least you're not eating dinner and there's a car that just comes in. Did you see that on?
Yes. That was insane. So if you don't know what the video that Daniel is referring to, there's two influencers. They're sitting in Texas, look like they're about to have brunch, and it's the hoity-toity, like, oh, I'm going to eat my sandwich with my middle finger and my thumb. I'm going to pick this sandwich up. Oh, my goodness, it looks so good. Boom! Boom! Out of nowhere. Like an RKO getting absolutely pile-driven by a small-sized SUV, knocks the table off. They lose their food, so they don't even get to eat. I feel bad for them because if somebody messed with my food, I'm going to be more mad about that than I am getting hit by a car.
I mean, they both got up and walked away. Surely to God, the restaurant was like, oh, we're sorry. Here, let us at least give you some more food.
Could you imagine if they charged them double? Well, you chose to sit next to the window. You chose to sit next to the window knowing there was a possibility that you could be hit by a car as you're eating dinner. That's on you.
And so from then on, Daniel did not sit next to a window while he was eating.
Could you imagine? Like, I'm just trying to imagine what my reaction would be. Like, if I'm sitting there and I'm about to eat my sandwich, about to eat my pizza, and a car comes through the window, I'm just probably going to just throw my hands up and be like, Well, I guess it's 10-piece and the Diet Coke on to the house.
Mine would be, God always said I was going out eating. So.
I mean, sometimes it just be like that. And there is nothing that you can do about it. Stay with us. More Jake Miller Sports Talk on the way.
Jake Miller Sports Talk is taking your calls and listening to you every Thursday at 6 p.m. over WLAF. Hi, this is former Cougar Jake Miller inviting you to join me for 2 hours of talking Tennessee Vols, Campbell County Cougars, and beyond. See you at 6 p.m. on WLAF.
FM 100.9 WLAF.
Hey, Alexa, play WLAF.
On it. Now playing WLAF. Good choice, Matthew. They always have the latest information on what's happening around Campbell County.
We've unlocked the vaults, and we're replaying Casey Kasem's American Top 40, the 70s. This week is from August 26, 1972. That's when Chicago spent Saturday in the park. The Jackson 5 were looking through the windows. Donna Fargo was the happiest girl in the whole USA, and the Carpenters said goodbye to love. You'll hear those songs and all the top 40 hits from August 26, 1972, right here on American Top 40, the 70s. Saturday night at 7 on FM 100.9 WLAF.
Hi, this is Megan Colley from your local farmers market, and you're listening to me on WLAF.
We've unlocked the vaults, and we're replaying Casey Kasem's American Top 40, the 80s. This week is from August 29th, 1981. That's when Stacy Ladisaw found love on a two-way street. Eddie Rabbitt was taking it step by step. The Manhattan Transfer told us about the boy from New York City. And Rick Springfield wanted Jesse's Girl. You'll hear those songs, all the top 40 hits, and the long-distance dedications from August 29th, 1981, right here on Casey Kasem's American Top 40, the 80s. Listen every weekend, Sunday at 8 p.m. over FM 100.9 WLAF. FM 100.9 WLAF.
Jake Miller Sports Talk, WLAF, 1450 AM, 100.9 FM on Comcast, channel 1089 on the Facebook live stream. One of the things that I failed to mention over the last few weeks, and you think I would do this, Daniel, considering, hey, I want more people to listen to the show, is if you missed the show, not only can you go back and listen to it on the Facebook stream, but you can also catch us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts now. We are on both. We are now on both.
Did you see the news today, though, about Spotify and Apple?
No.
Yeah, apparently you can now port over everything from Spotify to iTunes. And everything on iTunes is apparently a lot clearer than Spotify. No way. Seriously, a heart attack.
I'm looking at Matthew's face, and he's like, you mean to tell me I just put in all of that work trying to get us on Apple Podcast for this to drop? Matthew, I'm sorry, buddy.
I'm serious. So what you're saying is that all your playlists you make in Spotify, you can import it over to Apple Music now?
Yeah.
So, that'll be a big, determining factor of making a switch over from Spotify to Apple Music. Because I love my Spotify, but Apple Music, the higher audio quality, can't beat that.
Yeah, no, I'm serious as a heart attack. I've seen it because I'm a diehard Spotify user. Because that's where all of my podcasts are that I like to listen to.
Yeah, I've never had a Spotify account.
Really?
Always been Apple.
Oh, listen, my murdering podcast that I love to listen to, they're amazing. I love
You talking about Y&W Melly, or are you talking about
I'm listening to, their podcast of, women or men talking about, different murders that happen.
Oh, I thought you was talking about
No, not me killing somebody.
No, I thought you was talking about the song by Y&W Melly, Murder on My Mind.
Oh, no. No, I don't. Listen, I'm from the hills of Tennessee. I don't listen to Murder on My Mind.
I mean, that's
Now, granted, if we release one that's like cheeseburger on my mind, I might be game for that.
Hey, I mean, I'm all about a good cheeseburger. You give me, a good cheeseburger with some bacon, some good cheddar cheese on that.
Pepper jack.
Oh, I like pepper jack. With some barbecue sauce and some fried onions.
Yep. Yep.
Got a score update from Dorman Blaine Stadium, a.k.a. the Butch Bowl. Daniel, what you got for us?
This is from Anderson County.
It's from Anderson County. They're not at the Butch Bowl.
They're not at the Butch Bowl,
but
we are playing the absolutely horrid Knoxville Catholic Fighting Irish that eats my soul. Anderson County is currently down 7-0, 4th and goal, 8:47 to go in the first quarter. So Anderson County's got some transfers in from a Bearden team. Bearden's head coach. That's a finicky situation. I'm sure you've heard a little bit about it. It's a very finicky situation. Not going to speak too much on it because I don't know a ton about it, but I know enough to get myself in trouble.
That's about how it goes.
But Anderson County gets a few of the transfers in, and what we've seen last week in the first half against Powell, Anderson County looked good. Anderson County looked real good. Got a freshman quarterback starting. J.D. Gillum, he's a true freshman. Already got Power 5 offers.
Nice.
Already got Power 5 offers. When you and I were in school, Jake, and this will segue into a whole new segment, whatever you want to call it. How are these kids? That's what they are. If you're a sophomore you're a kid, in my eyes.
If you're not 18.
Yeah, if you're not 18. How can a college recruiter see something in a 7th or an 8th grader and say, that's the kid we want?
That is so hard because you got to think, man, and we've seen it, with 5-star athletes, 4-star athletes that have gone on to be bust. Then we've seen no-star athletes go on to be starting quarterbacks in the NFL. It is so hard to judge when a kid is going to reach his apex.
I agree.
It's like, one of the things that we've got to talk about is, we'll talk about where the show is going to be here in a couple of weeks, once we get done talking about this. But when you look at recruiting services like Rivals, 247, I'm pretty sure On3 is.
On3 is kind of
Rivals.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
they're owned. I think they're owned by Rivals, or Rivals might.
Yes,
they're related.
Yes, they are related. But it is so hard to judge when a kid is going to hit his apex because we thought we had the greatest thing in the world in Nico Iamaleava.
Yep.
And that was judged not by what he did in pads, but it was judged by what he did in pajamas and 7-on-7 games.
Don't get me going on 7-on-7. That's right. The whole you don't want to form an offensive
lineman. You don't like 7-on-7?
You don't want to form an offensive lineman getting going on 7-on-7. I'll go into it very briefly.
Go ahead.
On Friday night, you're not playing 7-on-7.
You are not.
You're forgetting 5 very important people. The people that are in front of that quarterback. If you want team cohesion, you want the team to be one unit, which is what every high school coach preaches. They don't teach it, they preach it. We are one unit. Why do you take 7 skill players versus 7 other skill players and exclude the 5 most important people on an offense?
Something else to bring up with that. The maximum amount of eligible receivers you can have downfield is how many?
4? 5?
5.
5.
So why are you adding another guy?
Running back.
When that is, it's like you would have 5 receivers plus a running back in that situation, which you can't do in a real game.
Yeah. I mean, running backs, you've either got 5 wide receivers, you got a quads to one side, a single to the other, or you've got trips to one side with duels on the other.
It's not real football.
Or you've got duels on each side with a tight end, duels with a running back, whatever.
That's not real football.
It's not real football. It's not. It's great for flag football. But.
Which is also not real football.
Which is not real football. But I've always had a problem with 7-on-7 because here's why. A team can go win a 7-on-7 championship. I'm going to put that in air quotes.
And who's really going to care?
Who's going to care? Right?
Right.
Nobody. That is just for that team to say, look at us. we won 7-on-7. And that's the end of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
In February or in January, late December, you know who's going to remember that 7-on-7 championship? Nobody.
Not even the players on the team.
Not even the players on the team, especially if they're holding up a state championship trophy.
And something else that I want to bring up with that, and you made a really great point, and you having played that position,
Mm-hmm.
what is the most underappreciated position in football?
Left tackle.
And the other four? Your center?
Center's
your
very
right guard,
important.
your right tackle, and your left guard.
You're the most important on a team are your 5 offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
The most important. There's 2 key positions on an offensive lineman or an offensive line. Your center, because that center is the captain of the offensive line. Your center is telling each one of the offensive linemen, 2 guards, 2 tackles. He's calling out what they're doing. You know, look at Jason Kelsey, greatest center in the NFL. Was, in my opinion. Jason Kelsey was undersized, wasn't very athletic, but you know what he could do? He could read a defense.
Yep. He knew when the pressure was coming. He knew exactly who was blitzing, who
where
was not.
it was coming. Your center is the one that makes that call. The other most important position is the blind side of the quarterback. Because if the backside of that quarterback is not protected, Jake, that quarterback's going to get hurt.
I'm going to give you the best example that I can give you. And I'm in agreement with Daniel. I think that your offensive linemen are the most underappreciated people on the team. And I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to take us back to 2012. Tennessee, South Carolina. Going up against Jadeveon Clowney, the best defensive lineman in college football at the time. Who was blocking him? Tiny Richardson. Nobody even knew his name.
I couldn't tell you.
Nobody knew his name at all. But you know when everybody found out his name?
When he blocked Jadeveon Clowney.
Missed the block. Tyler Bray fumbled the football. Tennessee loses the game. And South Carolina was ranked in the top 10 at the time. I'm 90% certain on that. But the guy, for 59 minutes and 15 seconds,
played great.
Handled the best defensive lineman in the country until one play. And then everybody knew his name.
Yep. And it happens. I mean, you can look at all these 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars that these teams are bringing in. As an offensive lineman, we're not going to get 5 stars. It just don't happen. I mean,
unless your name is Cade Mays or Cooper Mays.
Yeah, I mean, you might have.
Cooper wasn't even a 5. He was a 4.
He's a 4.
Yeah.
You might have these ones that are 5 stars. Yeah, they're great. They're good. But your other offensive linemen, 9 times out of 10, don't like the 5-star.
Right.
Here's why. Those 3 and 4 stars, they had to work.
They had to work hard.
They had to work. That 5-star, he had to work too. Don't get me wrong. But he comes in riding high. You know, he goes into training camp. He goes into OTAs. He goes into anything. Not OTAs really, but training camp for college.
Right.
He comes in, big man on campus. Watch me do this. Yes, they may handle the best. You know, Tennessee's left tackle last year might have been able to handle James Pierce, right? Maybe. But you put a 5-star against James Pierce, that 5-star gets beat. You put a 3-star up against James Pierce, and that 3-star wins against James Pierce. Where's the lapse in recruiting? Where's that NIL money?
It's nowhere to be found.
That 3-star has no NIL money. That 3-star's out there because he loves the game.
Right.
Competition breeds competition.
Once again, this brings us back to passion.
Yep.
Liv Lowe has chimed in, said tonight's show, or what did she say? Great show tonight. I said, thank you. Yeah, it was great until Daniel brought up the Packers and Micah. Big Cowboys fan.
Tough. Cowboys stink. Go Pack.
And apparently we have opened up a... I cannot believe we're still talking about this.
I get this picture.
The goose has arrived.
The goose has made its way to Jake Miller Sports Talk, and it is in orange and white.
Yeah. She made those for the goose.
Question of the day. Actually, I've got two questions. Should we get a show goose?
I think at this point,
We almost need one.
we need one.
Better yet, can we just get a duck?
No, it's got to be a goose.
But if we get a duck, we can name it Steve.
Yeah, but a goose is superior to a duck.
We can name it Tony after Tony Saragusa.
A great defensive lineman.
Great defensive lineman.
I might have to agree with the duck.
Second question of the day, and we want your opinions on this one. One of your good friends is getting married in 2 days on the day of the Tennessee-Syracuse game, and you have not bought him or his soon-to-be wife a wedding present.
I ain't going.
I have to go. That's already set in stone. I was promised good food.
What time is the wedding?
Oh, it's after the game.
Okay, then that's acceptable.
Mm-hmm. But
sorry, go ahead with your question.
But what do I buy them? It's like, what do you buy somebody for a wedding?
Forks, plates, stuff they'll use.
The thing is, it's like what can you get them that they don't already have?
Have they been living together?
No. I don't think. Maybe. I don't know.
If they've not been living together,
I'll never do that again.
There's a fire somewhere. We might want to put that out.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
If they've not lived together, anything for the house is always the best gift.
I know what I can get them. One of my products, I can get them one of those green vacuums. Stick vac takes the battery. No cords. There you go.
It would work.
Hey.
I mean, seriously though. I mean, somebody that when me and Katie got married, we've been married 10 years. We had stuff given to us that we were like, we'll never use this.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that we thought we would never use is stuff we use on a daily basis now.
That's insane.
Yeah. Like, I'm serious. I think we had a vacuum. Like a little Dyson vacuum. Like, we're like, why would we do that? You know, we've got a big vacuum, a carpet vacuum.
Right. You have a carpet vacuum, you have a hard surface vacuum. But I'm thinking more along the lines, what else we could get them? It's like, what is something just so off the wall? Because if he had been arrested, what I was going to do is I was going to have my mother make me a T-shirt with his mugshot on it, one for each of them.
You could still do that. Just put them both in orange and here you go.
Hey, here it is.
Here it is.
Yeah. Everything's always good. Everything is always good here. But, I mean, it could be one of those deals where I don't know what to get them.
It's tough. I mean, I don't know. Depends on how good of friends you are. Like lifelong, like if you're lifelong friends, like if my best friend growing up, I would get him something that was like something me and him did together. Like like if we both grew up watching Barney together or something, like get him something.
What's the worst gift you've ever gotten?
Oh, Lord. I don't even know, but I know there's some like, you know what I'm talking about? Like Christmas morning, you go to Granny's house after you've opened your presents or whatever.
Yeah.
And Granny's like, oh, open that one. It's so cool. And you open and it's like a sweater, like a tweed sweater or something. And you're like,
nice.
Yay.
Let me tell you about the worst thing I ever got.
Yeah.
So, of course, open up all the presents and got some cool stuff. I got a table saw one year, got a couple other tools. So I'm happy at this point.
Yeah.
And then I just got mad because I'm going through my stocking. Of course, you go through the candy. There's always Reese's because it's my favorite candy and everything.
Butterfingers.
Here's a gift card. I'm like, oh, sweet. The code has been scratched off the back of it. I got a used gift card for Christmas.
That's great.
And I looked over at the woman that gave that to me. I said, they don't cost any extra. So just get them at the counter. It's not a prepaid Visa. You just get the gift card, and there it is.
That is awesome.
Her response, you need to be more thankful. I mean, what else?
What else can you say?
You can't say anything else. That is the bad thing about that, is you cannot say anything else to that.
No.
Is the fact that, hey, guess what? You got to use gift card. I'm like, is this the equivalent of coal? Like, what did I do this year?
Yeah. See, now I'm to the age now to where when mom's like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, shoes. You know, last year I got a set of UGG slippers.
Nice.
Most comfortable shoe I've ever put on.
I'm trying to think of what I got last year. What did I get for Christmas? Honestly, I think I just got a lot of clothes and like household appliances.
That works, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's stuff that I use. Like, that's the thing, is it's stuff that I use. It's like Matthew would probably be able to tell us this. Matthew, we need your opinion on something before we go to break.
What's up?
So, your buddy is getting married in 2 days. You have yet to buy a present. What are you getting them?
Not a pair of socks. When I got married last year, I got cash, because everybody would ask me what I wanted, and like, I really don't know. So they give us cash, and we use some on our honeymoon. We save some money up, so that can't go wrong with cash, or a used gift card, I guess, would work too.
You know what you should get them? Are they Tennessee fans?
One is a huge Tennessee fan. The other is a Texas A&M grad.
Okay, so what you get, one is a Kentucky gift card that they can only use in Kentucky.
Oh, and then get another one, a Longhorns gift card?
And then get another one, a Longhorn.
Oh, you know what would be great? If the Longhorn Network was still around, I could get them a subscription to the Longhorn Network.
That would have been great.
Oh, that would have been diabolical. That would have been the most Jake Miller thing that could have ever happened in the history of Jake Miller.
That would have been awesome.
You mentioned UGG boots a few seconds
Not
ago.
boots.
UGG slippers.
Slippers.
Okay. Well, I heard the hot topic. Sorry, didn't mean to step on you. Well, anyways, I heard over CBS News, over WLAF, they announced that UGG, the UGG company, can no longer be called UGG. So you know what they're renaming to in America?
What?
Since 1974. It's going to be the name of their company. I guess the full name is UGG since 1974. So they're just going to be called since 1974.
Yeah, but you know my hillbilly butt ain't going to call them that. It's going to be, look at my UGG slippers.
There's a couple of things like that we can't talk about because somebody out there will get mad that we're talking about maple syrup. Sometimes it just be like that. Stay with us. Final segment of the program coming up right here on WLAF.
Jake Miller Sports Talk is taking your calls and listening to you every Thursday at 6 p.m. over WLAF. Hi, this is former Cougar Jake Miller inviting you to join me for 2 hours of talking Tennessee Vols, Campbell County Cougars, and beyond. See you at 6 p.m. on WLAF.
FM 100.9 WLAF.
For Southern Gospel music, there's only one. WLAF.
We've unlocked the vaults, and we're replaying Casey Kasem's American Top 40, the 70s. This week is from August 26, 1972. That's when Chicago spent Saturday in the Park. The Jackson 5 were looking through the windows. Donna Fargo was the happiest girl in the whole USA, and the Carpenters said goodbye to love. You'll hear those songs and all the top 40 hits from August 26, 1972, right here on American Top 40, the 70s. Saturday night at 7 on FM 100.9 WLAF.
You can now listen to WLAF radio on your Amazon Alexa-enabled devices.
You're listening to my radio station, WLAF.
We've unlocked the vaults, and we're replaying Casey Kasem's American Top 40, the 80s. This week is from August 29th, 1981. That's when Stacy Ladisaw found love on a two-way street. Eddie Rabbitt was taking it step by step. The Manhattan Transfer told us about the boy from New York City, and Rick Springfield wanted Jesse's Girl. You'll hear those songs, all the top 40 hits, and the long-distance dedications from August 29th, 1981, right here on Casey Kasem's American Top 40, the 80s. Listen every weekend, Sunday at 8 p.m. over FM 100.9 WLAF.
FM 100.9 WLAF.
Final segment of the program. Got some comments to go through. Reed has chimed in. Says, just got off a cruise today and spent the week with Rhino. Your favorite wrestler?
Is he really awesome?
I don't know. We'll ask Reed later. Donovan chimes in. Jake Miller hiding what he wants to say? Boo this man.
I mean, we can both air some stuff out, but
I mean, we very well could, but I mean, it is what it is. But
FCC license.
yeah, we want to keep the FCC license. We don't want to get Jim in trouble. We don't want Jim to be woken up from his nap and come down here.
No,
I've only seen Jim in khakis and polos.
If that man pulls up in here in pajama pants, I'm out.
That's it. They ain't no coming back. They ain't no coming back from that. You never come back from that. All right. So don't necessarily want to get into gambling, but what we're going to do in this next segment to close out the show is we're going to go over the games of the weekend. I'm going to give you the line on it, and you tell me what is most likely to happen. I'm not going to tell you who to pick, but we're going to go over what is going down. Of course, kicking off at noon, you have number 1 Texas versus number 3 Ohio State, in which will be Lee Corso's final college game day. We have got a horns up. They are the underdog. Ohio State favored by 1.5 in that game. But Texas, the money line, you still don't double your money.
I hate Ohio State that much.
I do too. Jonah.
Yes.
Texas or Ohio State?
See, I would pick Texas because I hate Ohio State that much, but I do think Ohio State's going to win.
Matthew.
I think they're both going to be powerhouses, but I don't know. Just to be different, I'll go with Ohio State.
We need to keep tabs on this and like make it a competition, like at the end of the season.
Oh, I'm going to go through because my laptop died because I'm stupid and didn't charge it.
Yeah, we need to keep tabs on this, and then like at the end of this football season,
just do it week by week.
Yeah.
Are you saying we put money on this?
No.
No. I'm just saying like whoever gets the most right or something, or whoever gets
the free Charlie's pizza.
Yeah, something like that.
I think we should do it.
Speaking of Charlie's.
Hey, we got something to come later in the show on that. I'm excited about that. I'm very excited.
Stay tuned.
All right. Next game that we have of importance, you have Alabama going down to Tallahassee, Doak Campbell Stadium, to take on Florida State. Alabama is favored by 13.5 in this one.
They cover.
You think they cover?
They cover.
Yeah, I think they cover too.
Bama?
Yep. Do they cover 14 points?
Yeah.
So they're saying Bama will win by 14 points or more. I'm going to give you a hot take. This is going to be a one-score game.
Ooh. You think so?
Alabama wins, but it's a one-score game. 10 or less. Next, we have LSU and Clemson.
Oh.
That game is Saturday night at 7:30. Clemson favored by 4.5. LSU number 9 in the country. Clemson number 4. Who we got?
LSU.
Jake, we talked about last week. Brian Kelly can't win in week 1. Give me Clemson.
LSU.
I'm going to go Clemson because I can remember those Florida State games against LSU back-to-back years in which Brian Kelly looked like a fool.
Just a brief thing. Do you think Cade Klubnik has it?
I just don't want to see his parents on camera more than I see him.
Fair. Okay.
So I'm going to ride with Clemson in that one. All right. Notre Dame, number 6 in the country. Miami, number 10 in the country. Notre Dame favored by 2.5. Who we got?
Fighting Irish.
Turnover chain. Turnover chain. Turnover chain. Turnover chain. Turnover chain.
I think the Irish are going to get it.
Turnover chain. Turnover
Notre
chain.
Dame, because they have the best fight song. Well, other than Tennessee. Tennessee's got the best one, but Notre Dame victory march, Campbell County's fight song. That's why I'm going with that.
Give me the turnover chain. I'm going to go Miami all the way in this one. And then, of course, you have Virginia Tech at number 13, South Carolina. Actually, excuse me, that is going to be the other Aflac kickoff game. South Carolina favored by 7.5 in this one. As much as I cannot stand Shane Beamer, I cannot bear the thought of that man popping up on my TV screen with his stupid face and looking into the camera and doing the antics that he does week after week after week.
With their goggled quarterback.
I got to go with South Carolina in this one, man.
Same.
I'm going to take Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
J.R. Coleman, please don't kill me if you're listening. I know you love Virginia Tech. I'm sorry.
And then, of course, Saturday at noon, number 24, Tennessee. Unranked Syracuse. Tennessee is favored by 13.5 points in this game.
Should I be the oddball? Because I know we're all going to go Tennessee.
We're all going to go Tennessee, but do they cover?
They don't cover.
I don't think they cover either.
I'm hoping they can. Let me go with yes.
Got 2 no's and a yes. I'm going to say no, and I think you're going to see a lot of concerned Tennessee fans. I don't think you're going to see a lot of mad fans, but you're going to see a lot of concerned fans coming out of this game. That is your slate for the week, which we'll pick. What we're going to do is we're going to pick 5 games that are not Tennessee each week, and then we'll pick a game, or we'll pick the Tennessee game. Some exciting news out of WLAF today. So some people are like, well, when are you going to do a show live? We've seen you do it before. When are you going to do it again? Well, Matthew, we got the answer.
Yes. So Jake Miller Sports Talk will be live and in person. Well, it's always live, but we're going to be in person out in the public. We're going to get out of our little building here and actually get outside and breathe some fresh air and stuff our mouths and our bellies with Charlie's Pizza on Thursday, September the 11th.
There you have it.
We'll be live over there. We'll have Jake, Daniel, Jonah. I'll be there running production. And we want you to stop by Thursday, September 11th, starting at 6 o'clock. Come by Charlie's, get you a pizza, bring your family, bring your friends, and we're going to put you on the air in person. We're going to talk some more about this, but I don't think we're going to be taking phone calls. We might take a couple, but if you want to get on the air, come by Charlie's Pizza.
Basically treat it as open mic night. Essentially, it's your open mic to Jake Miller Sports Talk. If you want to come on or come down to Charlie's, you want to get on the show, you want to talk sports, that is your time to do it from 6 to 8 at Charlie's on September the 11th, right before Campbell County plays their first home football game against, I think we have Central that day.
Is it Knox Central?
I think it is Central.
Knox Central, I believe.
Because I wanted to say Carnes. I'm like, yeah, we're not going to Carnes. Or we're going to Carnes next week.
Oh, I hate Carnes.
Knox Central Bobcats.
I was correct. Let me tell you something about Carnes. That was the most football-style tennis match I've ever played in my life.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Carnes.
So
not the people of Carnes, just their football program.
Their entire athletic department, I can't stand them.
I'm not a fan.
I can't stand them. So, a little story, and what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to make a phone call this week, actually, to a man that owns a business right up the road, try to get him on the show, and tell us about his truck getting keyed. Yeah. So when you play tennis, you get the stereotypical, it's like somebody's going to have a buzz cut, or they're going to have the frat boy hair like I have. Right?
Yeah.
This dude shows up in a mohawk. He's screaming during a tennis match.
Awesome.
When I was in my doubles match, it took everything in me not to just full-blown, everything I've had in me. I wanted to just drive this ball right at his belly at 110 miles an hour. I wanted to do it so bad, and I just couldn't pull myself to do it. I probably should have done it, considering it's Carnes, but that was probably the worst experience I'd ever had at a tennis match in my life. I'm just like, etiquette, guys. Imagine being on the golf course and someone blaring the speaker. Like, everybody has speakers on the golf course now, but imagine someone turning that thing up to 45, playing Marty Robbins, and just blaring it throughout the golf course. That's kind of what I was dealing with.
So that's your worst, I guess, high school athletic experience?
Think so, yeah.
Mine, freshman year of high school football. Anderson County travels to Austin East.
Nice.
Me, born and raised in Campbell County. Culture shock has never been more of a thing. We're riding in school buses, and the houses, when you go to Austin East, there's houses right on the road that leads up to the stadium.
They're right there.
We were called everything but white people.
That checks out.
And then they have an awesome band with the dude that comes out and kicks his legs real high.
Oh, their band is awesome.
Their band's awesome.
Yeah.
I also learned that night they serve fried chicken in the concession stand.
Why can't we have that?
I'm talking like authentic fried chicken. And guess who got some at halftime?
You did?
Me.
Nice. Wait.
Yeah, I made it happen.
Mama Daniel hooked you up?
Mama Daniel.
Nice. I'm jealous.
But going in was the most terrified I've ever been.
Oh, I believe it.
Going to a place to play football.
Yep. That is about how it works.
Yeah, I was terrified.
Yeah. And I think everybody around here has probably had that at some point in their life.
Yeah.
I was trying to think. I don't think I had a worse experience than that. No. The mohawk and the screaming.
Mohawk and screaming.
Yeah. During a tennis match.
Versus thinking you're going to die.
It could be worse, man. It could be a lot worse than that. Oh, my goodness. That is going to do it for us. Daniel, thank you so much, man. Can't wait to do it again next week.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure.
Stay tuned. Something else coming up next here on WLAF. Tune in tomorrow as Campbell County takes on Cherokee right here on your radio station, WLAF.
Jake Miller Sports Talk is taking your calls and listening to you every Thursday at 6 p.m. over WLAF. Hi, this is former Cougar Jake Miller inviting you to join me for 2 hours of talking Tennessee Vols, Campbell County Cougars, and beyond. See you at 6 p.m. on WLAF.
FM 100.9 WLAF.
This is former Cougar Jake Miller. Join me Thursdays at 6 as we talk sports over WLAF.
Hey, this is Penny Etter, and you're listening to my dad's radio station, 1450 WLAF.